Once upon a time, in the beautiful city of Verona, Italy, two powerful and noble families, the Montagues and the Capulets, were engaged in a bitter feud that had lasted for generations. Their hatred for each other ran deep, and the streets of Verona were often filled with violence and strife. In the midst of this heated rivalry, fate had a different plan. At a grand masked ball held at the Capulets' residence, a young and dashing Montague named Romeo caught a glimpse of a breathtakingly beautiful Capulet girl named Juliet. It was love at first sight for both of them, and they were instantly drawn to each other. Unaware of each other's family ties, Romeo and Juliet shared a passionate and secret encounter. As the night unfolded, they exchanged tender words of affection, pledging their hearts to one another. The next day, Romeo sought the counsel of Friar Lawrence, a wise and kind-hearted priest. He believed that Romeo and Juliet's love might be the key to ending the feud between their families. With hope in his heart, Friar Lawrence agreed to marry them in secret, hoping that love might heal the wounds of hate. However, the situation in Verona was far from peaceful. Tensions between the Montagues and the Capulets escalated, and a series of unfortunate events led to Tybalt, Juliet's fiery-tempered cousin, killing Romeo's dear friend, Mercutio. In a fit of rage and grief, Romeo sought vengeance and ended up slaying Tybalt. As a consequence of this tragedy, the Prince of Verona banished Romeo from the city. The lovers' dreams of being together were shattered, and they faced the heartache of separation. In the face of despair, Friar Lawrence devised a plan to reunite the star-crossed lovers. He gave Juliet a potion that would make her appear lifeless for a brief time, intending to secretly reunite her with Romeo once he heard of her death. Unfortunately, things didn't go according to plan. The message meant to inform Romeo of Juliet's staged death never reached him, and he only heard the news of her passing from someone else. Consumed by grief and unable to live without her, Romeo rushed back to Verona to be with his beloved, despite the risk of being caught. In the Capulet tomb, Romeo encountered Paris, a young nobleman who had been promised Juliet's hand in marriage. Unable to bear the weight of sorrow and desperation, Romeo fought with Paris and killed him. He then found Juliet lying in the tomb, still appearing lifeless. Believing she was truly gone, he drank a vial of poison and collapsed next to her lifeless body. Moments later, Juliet woke up to find Romeo dead by her side. Overwhelmed by grief, she took his dagger and took her own life, choosing to join him in death rather than face life without him. As the tragic news spread throughout Verona, the Montagues and the Capulets were filled with sorrow and remorse. Realizing the devastating consequences of their feud, they set aside their animosity and made peace with each other. In the wake of the tragedy, the Prince of Verona spoke of the heartbreaking love between Romeo and Juliet, acknowledging that their deaths were a consequence of their family's long-standing enmity. He hoped that their tragic story would serve as a cautionary tale and inspire the city of Verona to choose love over hate. Romeo and Juliet were laid to rest side by side, their love transcending death itself. Their tragic tale became a legend of enduring love, reminding the world of the power of passion, the consequences of hate, and the eternal bond between two hearts destined to be together. And so, the love story of Romeo and Juliet lives on through the ages, a testament to the beauty and tragedy of love that continues to touch the hearts of all who hear their tale.